Hello, friends. It's me. It's TCG. Come for a walk with me. um, so, I just wanted to make a quick little chat about sorcery, which, I've been very positive about and will continue to be. I think it's a great product. Still a very new game, so we don't know how it's going to perform, but it seems like it's doing really well in the short term, right? Like, look at it. The boxes are out. Who knows? They're over $1,000 now. It's insanity out there. But I'm not so sold on the current prices of things. Maybe it's just me having lived through the 2021 bubble and seeing how high things can get in a weird way. But I think that first off, a lot of people try and justify it right off the bat by talking about by talking about how the print run is so low. How there's only like the Kickstarter was big, but there's only 29,000 boxes, something like that, which is not bad. 29,000 is a pretty low number when you compare it to a lot of even the indie TCGs. Even something like MetaZoo's running 50,000 now after cutting print runs. Sure, yeah, that's definitely an important factor. But another thing to consider is the player base, and it's kind of the ratio of those two things. So, one thing that people like to leverage a lot against smaller indie TCGs is, the prices are up because it's just a handful of investors passing back and forth to each other, which is the stupidest argument I've ever heard. But there is some legitimacy to kind of the background of it, which is to say there's legitimacy to if there's a very small group of people, then you need a smaller print run to be passed through them so everybody gets what they want. So, for example, it's something like Weiss Schwarz. It has a very dedicated fan base, but is not comparable to something like Magic. So you need smaller print runs to justify the prices to people. So I think that's something that people are kind of glossing over. But, putting that aside even, the hype train for sorcery is kind of very much full steam ahead. And it's the TCG hype cycle. It happens with every TCG, happens with almost every set. And you'd have to make a pretty strong justification for it to not happen here, where something comes out, it's a big deal, it's in the news, everyone's talking about it, prices are high, they tank as people, open product and get their stuff, and then focus leaves off of it. And it's not until focus leaves that things start kind of organically growing in size. So I think it's important to keep that in mind as well, that we're currently in the middle of the hype cycle. So it's bubble is kind of a loaded term, but it's bubble-ish. It's a mini bubble that happens all the time. So really give it a year or two, and what are the box prices going to look like? Maybe it's a good idea to sell now. I thought it was a good idea to sell a little while ago, and it's like doubled since then. So, what do I know? But the last thing to consider that I think is unique to sorcery, something that kind of plays off the hype of it, is the release cycle. Because we know there's only one big set that's coming out each year, I think, was what their plan was. And then, they'll release mini sets to kind of keep focus up. But we don't know if that's going to work. We don't know how successful that'll be. We don't know what that even looks like at all, except like you could say, Magic the Gathering had a mini set. It was Aftermath, the new Phyrexia Aftermath, tanked. People hated that because you buy a couple boxes and you have the whole set. There's no reason to trade cards around, which is the antithesis of part of what makes sorcery so good with those huge sets. They said that they might not be doing sets that big from now on because they take so much time to produce, which, that's a big reason why Louis from Kitchen Table TCG said he had to open around 50 boxes of alpha to collect a whole set. which is insane. But you don't get that if you have, the standard maybe 200 card print size. Card size, set size. I don't know the proper terminology for that is. And on top of that, you have, I guess you could also compare it to maybe like MetaZoo promos, or I mean, other games, but MetaZoo has promos all the time, and they sell pretty well, but like 16, 20, whatever cards in the dozens, don't really keep. The reason it does well for MetaZoo is because a lot of the promos are they're collaborations with other brands. So like they have a Hello Kitty set that's pumping out right now at SDCC and San Diego Comic-Con, and it's doing well as a small set because it's drawing in Hello Kitty fans, because it's targeted towards a specific audience that probably isn't going to be paying attention otherwise. So I don't know. I don't know what specific. Sorcery doesn't strike me as the kind of TCG to do collabs and bring new audiences that way. So I don't know. As I've heard someone say, the singles prices are astronomical, and the box prices aren't even high enough to meet that, relatively yet. And if that's the case, then box prices have to go up to meet the singles, right? Well, either that or single prices come down. And I think you know where I stand on that. I'll let you make that decision for yourself. But there's a lot more to consider. Anyway, catch you later. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye.